Hey guys, Stealth here. Unfortunately, with the previous playthrough I was not able to dig myself out of that dead hole that I dug myself. So I'm going to be starting a new playthrough, and this one is on the Britain/Ireland map. Now interestingly, Belfast has been connected to the main British Isle by a bridge. I don't really know why exactly that is. Maybe the game has to have a connection of some sort, but we could delete it and just treat Ireland as a separate entity that we need to connect to through initially shipping and later on aircraft. Now to the north, of course, we have Scotland. We even have actually, do we have? No, never mind. We don't have anything like the northwestern edge of France, so we're just gonna have to make do. London's been divided up into two sections. We have South London and London as a whole. I'm just going to connect these two through a couple of standard easy connections. It's not going to be a train, it's going to be a bus, maybe a tram. That is, if I can even build trams. Yeah, I can. We're starting in 1900, and I will try not to dig myself one of those deep dead holes that I have in the past couple of gameplays. Now I'm seeing that we have a farm over here, right next to London, interestingly. We have a food production over here, so we could use that to supply London with food. We can have them drive full from over there to there, full from over there to here, to London, and then just complete the whole circle, so that we can quickly feed London and turn that into a larger town. The towns are all quite close together, and this means that right now it's not too interesting to start a railway connection, because you do get paid more the bigger the distance. So I'm just going to be running a couple of cheap lines right now, connecting West Bristol to East Bristol, London to South London. Let's see if we have any other small railroads. Yeah, here, Edinburgh to Dundee. Stornoway, Wick, these are all quite far away. I don't really see myself using connections to these towns anytime soon. Belfast to Douglas or Belfast Dublin, I think that the shipping connection would be interesting here, just because I don't use ships very often. So let's actually start with that, provided that I can get a connection there. Oh, and by the way, supplying Dublin by shipping could be very interesting. Trying to have one sort of port, maybe in London as well. If we can ship stuff to London... No, never mind, it wouldn't make much sense. If you could ship stuff from London or to London through a waterway, you'd have to do it through a port that's here. I don't think I can put it anywhere else. If this is navigatable water anyway. Yeah, not all of it is. Okay. So that's a no-go. But we can definitely make a water connection between Dublin and Belfast, and potentially Douglas. Although Douglas, with just 60 inhabitants, and really barely any room to grow, I don't think I'm going to be supplying this town anytime soon. Anyway, let's focus on getting these connections up. I want to have the electric tram. It's going to be medium streets. Let's see if I can make a sort of a loop here. What do you mean it's in... What? Okay, so the travel length is not allowed? Is that it? Oh, now they're happy. Okay, well, as long as there's a tram connection to it, I'm perfectly fine. Can we upgrade the... Too much slope? Really? I cannot upgrade roads because there's too much slope? Alright. This is getting ridiculous. We're gonna have to try and find a route through this town that does not carry the complaint of too much slope. Alright, it seems to be sort of normalizing at this point. Can we deploy a tram station over here? Or we can connect up London and South London? That might be all that we need for now. Let's try a large station. Not sure if this is the best position for it though. Alright, let's start another way. We're gonna have a couple of stations, or stops really. Let's see if we can cover most of the town with these. Okay, so this could be a small section of London that gets covered. Actually, most of it. Look at that, the green. That covers most of London in just one stop. Okay, so this could be a small line, and then we need to connect it up somewhere. How about doing that over here? Like that. Yep, that should fit. But we will need to upgrade this section. Okay. Let's squeeze in one of those large tram stations. Electric, please. And right on the other side of the road, I want to have an electric tram depot. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to connect or add the stations over here. This side. I never actually connected two separate towns through a tram connection. I mean, it is quite unusual, but in this situation it just might work. Okay, you're gonna start out over here, head there. Right, so this is the London tram. We're going to have another one starting over there, and then going to South London. Okay, so this is actually London, South London, something like that. Alright. We do have trams, electric trams. They are not particularly fast at 27 kph. But screw it. Alright, you're going to London, and I want to have 3 on the London to South London line. Alright, let's slowly start up the game and start doing the same for Bristol. Alright, upgrade. This should be a small loop for Bristol. Really? Main connection will be interrupted. Yes, of course it will. Let's see, I think I may need to add another bit of road here. That way we can form a nice loop. Like that. Medium streets. Over there, over here. Damn, I don't really want to try and build another connection this way. Okay, fine. One stop over there. One here. There. And if possible, just like London, I want to have a connection or a tram station connecting those two separate lines. But I don't really see where I could easily fit that. I could place it here, but that would mean that I have to have quite a lot of the trams coming over this bridge. Well, let's just see what happens. Get that thing electric. Nope, sorry, that's the trains. This one. Alright, so we might be able to connect this whole thing up in one go. So this is the start. Head over there. I know this is a bit of a double stop, but whatever. Go there. Here. Then come back to George Street, come back to the other George Street, go over there and stop at London Road and then go back to Bristol Exchange. So this is going to be the Bristol Loop. And let's do another one of those in reverse. So you're going over there, you're going immediately south. Come to think of it, I probably put these things on the wrong side of the road. In a way. Yeah. Hang on, what's going on? 29% over length. Right. I'm not exactly sure what that even means. This is the Bristol Loop. Actually, this is the clockwise, and this is the counterclockwise. There. Alright. 3 for each. So what are they exactly complaining about? It's an interrupted street connection. It's over length. I really have no idea what that even means. This is the first time I'm seeing a notification like that. Let's see if these people are at some point going to start using public transport. I should hope so. As of yet? Not really. Oh, actually, first passenger via West Street. Okay, so where do we go next? Because a train network over here could work. So say Canterbury, South London, Southampton, East Bristol, Birmingham, maybe Manchester next. Carlisle, Durham. And you could argue that a connection between Belfast and Dublin would be far more interesting by train, but I do like the ships. You don't really have enough maps where shipping is a real interest, where that is actually viable. Because 99 times out of 100, it's just easier, most of the time a lot faster and more consistent, if you can get one of the trains to transport your cargo, instead of going by ship. Oh, we have a new tram. 11 passengers, and they are quite a bit faster. 27 upgrades to 40. Let's get those things replaced right away, because these right now are our main connection. Okay, so that's one. Replacements, that one. This whole map, by the way, is one big mod. And I'm running quite a lot of mods on this playthrough. Most of all to get me additional options. So, for example, with the train stations, I can say 8 tracks. Yeah, that's cute, but that's not quite going to cover it. I can have another 40. I never actually used it, but that could be one hell of a transport hub. And if your train station is not lengthy enough, so if the maximum of 200 meters is not enough for you, you can say, well, I'll just add another 800 meters to that. And you can have a train station pretty much spanning 2 towns. Again, I haven't used it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it, but it's a nice to have. Alright, these things so far, they are carrying passengers, but they're really not making that much of a profit yet. Alright, let's see if we can start growing one of these towns by getting them fuel or building materials. Those are usually the easiest things to supply a town with. Food is another one. I could easily get London some more food. No, Birmingham is bigger than London? Well, not if you combine London with South London. This could be an interesting train connection. It's a very, very short run. It's going to be tricky to get any good connections up here because the distances seem to be very, very short. It's just costing me 180k to build a train connection there. Yeah, they're still all negative. It is a pretty big map though, with most of its water. I'm looking at this fuel connection here to Plymouth. That could work. Alternatives. We have a quarry over here, so we have stone. Do we have anywhere we can deliver that? Yeah, here. I don't like that much. I was hoping that we could either get a direct connection going there and then supply Swansea, Bristol and Southampton with stone. Or construction material, rather. So that's not really going to be too likely. What do we have next to the shore? A farm. Machine factory, another farm. Another production materials. Of course, there's no stone next to the water. This thing is just too far inland to be able to do a shipping connection between here and there and then ship it, for example, to Cork. Same here. The refinery is too far inland. This could easily turn wood into lumber. And then we supply it to Cork. Cork doesn't accept that. We need to transport that stuff over to nowhere. Oh, here. Machine factory. That one accepts planks. So from there, and then to Dublin. It could be a bit of a loop. Albeit not the most efficient one. Probably here to there is fastest, then there to there, and then there to Dublin. It's quite a few stretches of terrain. Oh, we're making a profit. Nice. Yeah, screw it. We're going to set up a small rail connection over here in the south. Why not? And no, we don't need that additional length. Platform length, maybe 120, 160, something like that. It is a terminal station, and it could just be one block wide, or one track. It's going to go Canterbury, South London, Southampton, East Bristol. That's the plan. Let's see, second street connection. And nah, I don't want to fit it in there. Okay, that's where we start. Then we pause over here. Then we move over here. And finally we end up in East Bristol. And then Birmingham. So it's going to be on the eastern edge of Bristol. Preferably somewhat connected to the tram stations. So let's stick it closer to the road. Elevation is going to be an issue here. That can be done. Okay. Start laying some tracks. That is a touch more expensive than I'd hoped. Alright, we need to split this thing into two separate sections. Or it's not going to work. Because I want to have multiple trains operating on this single line, of course. Then, from here we will carry on. Wow, it's not actually fighting me on the road construction there. That's a refreshing experience. Yeah, we'll fix that soon. Let's hope I can loop around. Yep, just about. And from there on, we're going northwest. Which could be a slightly more expensive endeavor, because of all that terrain normalization. Alright, I'm going to set up a cross section here. And we're going to have to add signals. Of course, I still need to have enough cash to actually buy a train. But fortunately those, especially in 1900, aren't too expensive yet. I have a little under 2.5 million. And I don't want to take out too much of a loan, but I probably will be. I mean, it's just something that I'm not really good at resisting. Okay. Let's see, you're going from over here, Canterbury, to South London, Southampton, to there, back to Southampton, and back to South London. Alright, we're going to call this the central line. Of course, we'll need to tie it into the existing networks as best as possible. So that means that the South London line is going to have to be upgraded to include a stop over here. And in order for that to be even possible, we will need to upgrade some of these things to have electric pathing. Let's see, that is going to be the South London line. We're going that way, Church Lane. If we upgrade this, that might make it a bit easier. There. Okay, so after Church Lane, I want you to head over here. And then we could add another stop in here, in case people want to get out early. London Road, and then you're going back to Green Lane and to London Holt. Yep. Okay, so that one ties in. We don't yet have a feeder network for this station. Let's make this a smaller one. Of course, we're going to have to do the same upgrading shenanigans here as well. Okay, that should be enough to cover Canterbury at least for a while. So this is going to be the Canterbury tram. This is the clockwise connection. Canterbury tram. Let's add an actual tram to that. There. South London is connected. We still need to connect Southampton. Again, upgrade the existing rail network or road network. And I want to try and tie it back in here. There. Didn't even cost me extra. Okay. Tram connection. Yes, electric. Over here we're going to the southern edge and then east and then we're done. So that's Southampton. For now I'm just going to go with one tram here. Southampton tram. Oh, my bad. That's not spelled with a double H. Tie in a depot. Come on. Alright, and finally our slightly out of position stop. Right, this was the Bristol line. The Bristol loop, rather. It's gonna have to go from Crescent over to the train station, which doesn't have a stop yet. And then it's gonna go onto Victoria Road. We could have another stop here. Okay, so Crescent. After Crescent you're going this way, that way, back to Victoria, then on to the rest. That's one. A counterclockwise loop. After Victoria Road, I want you to head over to Victoria Street, Mill Lane, Victoria Street again, and back to Crescent. Okay, so that should feed into all the train stations. Now we need an actual train. Let's see what we can buy. What do we have? Locomotives. We don't have multiple units yet, of course. These things only travel at about 60, 40, 50, 100. Attractive effort is pretty good, but they are damn expensive. Okay, let's go with one of these. Wagons, I want to have more money, clearly. Let's go with three axle cars. And then, no, we need a bit more. There. You guys are going to be set to the central line. And we might be able to split it up like that. Really? Come on. Because I want to have one of these trains go to the other side immediately. Okay, go. That's train 1. Train 2 should be departing instantly in the other direction. There we go. Nope, decides to follow train 1. Okay, well, so be it. These things have a pretty good power to weight ratio. Yep, good power rating. They're going to have to spread themselves out over this line. It's going to take a while. Now, let's see how quickly I can repay that loan. That 10 million. I'm going to get rid of that as soon as possible. The trams seem to be doing alright. They're not making me a ton of money, but at least they're making a profit. So that's the London connection and the Bristol loops. Both of those are doing quite okay. Of course, it's going to take a while before we actually get passengers to the train stations. Once we do, I'm hoping that we can at least transport some people here and there. Hang on, somebody got out. Where are you going? You're going to the shop in London. So he's going from Southampton by train to South London and then all the way over by tram, presumably. First passenger, 3 people, no less. And where's the other train? The other train's slightly behind, so that's okay. We also have some passengers over here. Let's not do anything rash for now. These things cost me a little under 500k a year. Okay, the next expansion plan is going to be to hit Birmingham and then somehow add another connection to Birmingham from London. So I'd probably be splitting or adding a station here, continuing that main line, and having a separate line go directly to London. Because I don't see how I can tie this one into a big loop. That's not really going to be likely. So instead we'll have one additional route going from Birmingham to London, and from there, or at least we're going to continue the central line to, I think, Manchester, with another spread off there to York, and then onwards to the north. But the northern towns, these two are not too large, not too interesting. Edinburgh could be another nice addition to the route, but again, later on. For now, people are really starting to queue up here. I'm thinking that may have to do with the fact that we now have a train station working. A train line, and people are starting to make use of that. Look at that, to South London, 21 people waiting there. That's good news, because that means that these trains should turn profitable relatively quickly. Let's see, all of these people were going to South London, so this train, how much does it make? These are very, very short hops for a train. But they're definitely faster than going either by the current version available of a car, so a bus, or a tram. This is the next best thing, really. 51. Not too bad. Oh, they're all trying to get to Southampton as well. About the stone that we have over here. It'd be nice if we could tie that into a production facility somewhere. But I don't see it. We could make planks and start producing tools. And from that we can supply London. But we'd need wood for that. Of course, that's not being produced anywhere either. Oh, actually, this might be a shipping connection. Here to there. That could work. Bloody hell. We're going to need a lot more trams operating these lines. Because these things simply cannot keep up with the demand. I mean, look at that. 57 people waiting to go to, presumably, here. That train station. 16, the other one is full. Not bad. It's still not quite making me a profit, though. I'm going deeper into debt. Alright, well, that's enough for this episode. Let me know what you think of the new map. If you want to have a look at it, I'll include a link to the Steam Workshop file down below in the description. So you can have a look at the map, see if this is anything that you want to try. Make sure you switch something in your file settings to include the experimental map sizes. And it is included in the file description on the Steam Workshop how exactly you can do that. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for more Transport Fever.